So a sucker is essentially a mini plant that grows at a 45-degree angle from the main branch and the sun leaves that come out. And these are easy to identify. They are somewhat like, if you think about from an armpit of a tomato, you have another arm growing. So the reason we want to trim out these suckers is because they take quite a lot of energy, and most of the energy of the tomato will be growing for survival of these suckers. So one of the reasons is, of course, if we want the tomatoes to grow well and for the flowers to come up, we should get rid of these suckers so the energy can be focused on the fruiting itself. And the other reason we want to get rid of these suckers is because they would also bunch up and they would create quite a lot of crowding of leaves themselves, which is quite detrimental for the tomato plant, because that means there would be a higher chance of diseases, and also there would be less of an airflow and also sunlight. We want to make sure that the tomato plant is nice and open, like you can see here, so that there's plenty of airflow, sunlight flow, and also to ensure that the flowers are not hidden by too many leaves, so that it creates higher chance of pollination as well by the nice bees themselves. So now we're going to try to get rid of this sucker, and there are a few ways to do this. One way is to use a clipper, and this clipper, you want to make sure that you have cleaned it thoroughly with alcohol, and that's to really avoid any cross-plantation movement of diseases, fungal diseases that can go from one plant to another from the razor. So you want to clean it nicely, and simply you want to remove the sucker using the razor. What we want to make sure is to really leave alone the top 3 to 4 inches of the plant alone. Absolutely do not take off any of the suckers here, because that could potentially be the fruit itself, or you could by mistake take off the main branch. So you could by mistake take off the main branch, and that could be a big problem. So what we try to target is really, you look at the first bud, the first flower bud, which you see here, and anything below that is open for clipping and for pruning, nothing above that. So none of these are open for pruning. So you really want to start from the bottom and get rid of any of these leaves and any of these suckers that you see.